married.
Still on full cam.
You let the other children go see her.
Fuck, I can't see
Birthday
my
parties.
actual
The diner
OBS right now.
to Charlotte and
Where my shit's set up.
William Afton, married, a father of 3 children, Elizabeth, Evan, and Michael, began a business with his good friend Henry Emily, married, a father of 2, Charlotte and Sammy. Their business name was decided to be Fazbear Entertainment, and together they opened up a small restaurant called Fredbear's Family Diner, a regular diner filled with dining and party rooms. The diner's main purpose was for children's birthday parties, as they knew that's the way to profit. It might as well have been a pizzeria though, as their menu was mostly filled with a variety of pizzas and cakes for all customers to enjoy.
I like pizzas
But
and cakes.
unlike any other restaurant, this was run by 2 mechanical geniuses, probably the smartest in the world, who together agreed on an idea so genius it would have to convince more kids and adults to have their birthdays and to dine generally at this location. An idea that would drive their revenue through the roof, and unknowingly to them, an idea that would shape the future of both their lives forever. The idea was put into motion almost instantly. Their creative minds wouldn't allow for hesitation. It was time. They were ready for business and destined for success. William and Henry created 2 spring-lock suits that they could wear and serve customers in, but the suits could also pass as animatronics to perform for the customers on a stage. These 2 spring-lock suits would end up becoming the main attraction of the diner, and the 2 suits would don the names Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Business was booming. The 2 were receiving
OG
money from
suits.
all directions. Parents loved the place. They could just chill back and eat some pizza while their children ran around and admired the animatronics. Children flocked to the diner daily to see the Springlock animatronics. If someone wanted a birthday party, this would be where they went. But business doesn't change a man's mentality. William Afton may have been married, a father of 3 children, and thanks to Fredbear's, a wealthy man. But however his life was, he wasn't a good man. Abusive, destructive, and cruel. The one reason he is where he is today is because he is smart and a strategist. The money did nothing but grow his toxic and dangerous personality. He looked to Spring Bonnie and then out to his filled diner he had helped create, and upon scanning the crowds, he put on the Springlock animatronic suit with a stable plan for an unstable man. Tonight, 5 children would have a birthday party they would never forget and never let go.
What the hell?
5 children were having a grand time at a birthday party in the diner, until randomly the yellow Spring Bonnie came over to them, and after playing with their minds and corrupting their thoughts, the Springlock animatronics successfully lured the children into the back room of the diner. Unknowingly to these children, their party would end prematurely, as upon being alone with the 5 children, William pulled out something from behind his back. The children were ready for a surprise he told them he had. The surprise they wanted, and the surprise they got. The knife William pulled out from behind his back went through the children's bodies. He went on a murdering spree, murdering all of them in a short amount of time. William knew exactly what he had done. The psycho gained satisfaction from the event, from the torment he had just given. But the cops would arrive soon. Their parents would notice their children missing. He had to do something in order to cover his tracks quickly. Whilst thinking of options, he stared at Fredbear and 4 work-in-progress animatronic suits that him and Henry were creating with endoskeletons to be fully automatic, as sometimes manually wearing the suits and serving customers was becoming too much, as they had to cook, take calls, requests, and it was just all too much for only 2 of them. But the work-in-progress animatronic suits looked like animals, with a brown bear, blue bunny, yellow chicken, and red fox. But, to William's luck, they were open and empty. William grinned, knowing where he would hide the evidence of this murderous event.
Damn, he shoved those kids in that fucking... I mean, I knew that, but like, he explained it in such a different way.
Calls, not knowing their children's whereabouts, and the staff having no clue either. Police were scavenging, searching all around the building, in all the rooms of the diner, asking everyone what they knew, trying to piece together anything they could, until they couldn't find the children's bodies anywhere, and they quickly found out no one knew anything. The children who were just having the best party of their lives vanished out of thin air from the diner. William became a major suspect, but without
Can
any
you turn it
bodies or
up?
proof, they couldn't charge him. This quickly became a missing children's incident.
Maybe a little.
Satisfaction, exhilaration. That's what William felt after the murder spree and getting away with it. His mind ran wild with ideas. What if he made suits specifically to contain people inside of them? Not Springlock suits like him and Henry used. The animatronic suits, but with enough space to fit humans into them. They couldn't contain adults because they might be too tall, too big. There would be way too much individuality between adults. But children? Most of them would be the same height, same size. A little bit bigger wouldn't be too much of a problem since they would still be rather small. William already killed 5 children and knew exactly how to lure them out, so he knew where to go next. With the goal of capturing children in mind, he made a new animatronic, Circus Baby, a blue-eyed, red-hair clown animatronic with an inbuilt scooper to grab, pull, and then trap children inside of itself. William adds that
she can dance, she can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can
That is
take
fucked
small
up.
guests. She can even dispense ice cream.
with the perfect creation and a long talk with Henry, William opened up a small restaurant on the side under his personal business name, Afton Robotics, which would sell the same food and drink as Fredbear's, but with the addition of ice cream. And with this, Circus Baby's Pizza World opens. William programmed Circus Baby so she would not kill or trap in front of crowds, nor with adults, but only in a one-on-one situation with a child. And William knew that the animatronic had to contain some sort of artificial consciousness. So how would he get that? William's wife and children would occasionally visit the two locations, admiring William and Henry's work. Animatronics were unique, creative, and unheard of in this day of age. Evan liked to watch William work on the animatronics and would regularly watch William work on the 4 animal suits, which Evan actually got early access to plush copies of. Elizabeth Afton, though,
Early access
she
to plush
desperately
copies?
wanted to see Circus Baby every time she visited. It looked like her, and it was the first girly animatronic that had been ever made, with the others being Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, which were still working at Fredbear's family diner.
Oh, that's
William
not
always
good.
said no to Elizabeth. He knew deep down that Circus Baby would recognize his daughter as a child and would quite possibly kill her. Elizabeth kept asking,
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? Daddy, you let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go? Daddy, just once let me go play with her. She's so pretty and shiny. Didn't you make her just for me? Daddy, she can make balloons. Have you seen her make balloons? Oh, Daddy, let me go to her.
no, was always the answer. William took no risk.
So,
his own daughter dying to his creation
I mean,
was
he
not
cares
an
about
option
his
on the
daughter at
table.
least, right?
So he always took Elizabeth away from the animatronic and distanced her from the clutches of Circus Baby. But one night, while William was busy with a party of people coming into the restaurant, Elizabeth snuck away from William and went to finally see Circus Baby. Stubbornness, ignorance, and arrogance.
Yep.
3 words which would perfectly describe Elizabeth's actions as she headed towards the animatronic. Circus Baby watched this little girl run with excitement and started to dispense ice cream, a luring tactic, something she had never done before.
Daddy isn't watching. Don't tell Daddy that I'm here. I wanted to watch your show too. I don't know why he won't let me come see you. You're wonderful. Where do the other
So this makes sense whenever in,
Elizabeth's final words. A question. A moment of realization.
I get it now. So I was watching a
Elizabeth
video
died
on
as a direct
Sister
result of
Location.
William's actions. She was inside Circus Baby's
I was watching
suit.
a video on Sister Location, and that animatronic was always talking about how it didn't know why, but it was for some reason constantly keeping track of how many kids and people were in the room. So that makes sense why it is programmed to recognize whenever it's one-on-one.
Screams,
I get it.
covered by the children running back into the room with excitement. William came with his party of children and wondered where his own went. He looked around and remembered Elizabeth's words.
Oh, Daddy, let me go to her. Didn't you make her just for me?
He then looked to Circus Baby, who coldly stared back. This was a giant mistake. William couldn't comprehend this. This wasn't meant to happen. She should have listened. No, he should have made it happen. No, she shouldn't have been so stubborn. No, yes, no. William couldn't put together a single coherent
You're
thought
not
in his
making a
mind.
fucking murderous
psycho losing a
animatronic,
loved one
William.
is not going to go well. He shut the restaurant instantly, and for a whole night he looked into Circus Baby's lit green eyes. If anyone can retell this story in these events the best, it's Circus Baby herself.
I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. No one sat at the tables, though, but children would run in and out. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why.
Oh, well, I just explained that.
I was always acutely aware of how many there were in the room with me. I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream. Although I only did it once. There were 4, then 3, then 2.
She only did it once, so basically...
Something happened when there was 1. A
I
little
get it.
girl, standing by herself. I was no longer myself, and I stopped singing. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least, not until she stepped closer. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment. Then other children rushed in again, but they couldn't hear her over the sounds of their own excitement. I still hear her sometimes. Why did that happen?
William. William was why that happened. All William could think of was his
Yo,
darling
talk
daughter,
about a fucking
now lost
crisis.
to his own creation. Immediately, he tells Evan and Michael to no longer visit any animatronics that are offline or on, especially not alone. There was no chance he would let another child of his be lost to any one of his creations. William knew Michael was old enough that the animatronics wouldn't kill him, although he still warned him away. But William must have raised his children wrong, as Evan becomes stubborn and decides to go to Fredbear's family diner either way, obviously without his father's permission. But unknowingly to Evan, William knew about this. He's the co-owner of the restaurant Evan was sneaking off to. Of course he would know. So knowing that stubbornness, ignorance, and arrogance caused Elizabeth's death, and seeing Evan follow in her footsteps, William crafted a plan that would hopefully stop Evan from visiting the restaurant for good. One midnight, Evan awoke to the sound of someone walking down his bedroom halls. Evan hopped out of bed and ran towards his door, opening it slightly, and he saw a nightmarish version of the animatronics he watched William build. Evan slammed the door
That's
shut,
why
and
he
on hearing
did
more
it.
footsteps,
That's
he
what
reopened the door
FNaF
and the
4 is
animatronic was
about.
gone. But then he heard rattling coming from his bed.
William's so
monitored Evan in
shitty.
an underground location he was yet to open to the public or anyone. He made sound illusion discs, which employ a high-pitched frequency just outside of the normal range of a human hearing. This frequency is used to overload the human brain, changing the listener's perception of whatever the emitter wants them
What
to
a
see.
shitty person.
He used this to create illusions of animatronics that he
His
knew
bright-
Evan had seen.
his
to
bright
make
idea
sure
was
Evan
to
never went back to Fredbear.
Scare the shit out of his
William
youngest
knew
child.
Evan would think these were nightmares that he could strangely remember, but William made sure all of it actually happens to Evan when he's awake, so he remembers them more quickly to keep the fear level raised. He would make sure the illusions disappear at 6 AM each night, a time which Evan would begin to treasure. During the day, Evan would go to Fredbear slightly more scared each time. William's plan was working. Michael, Evan's older brother, unknowingly to himself, was actually helping William during all of this, continuously scaring Evan with a foxy mask. William saw this as an okay thing to do and allowed this to happen during the day.
As an okay
it would
thing to
help
do?
Evan be more afraid to go back to Fredbear's. William encouraged Michael to do this, and he would be monitoring what Michael does through the eyes of a plush Fredbear. But Michael didn't do it for the same reasons as William. He did it because he was a bad brother. Michael organized Evan's birthday party to be at Fredbear's, and he told all the kids in town about it. After Evan talks to the kids, he goes inside his house to find William and talk to him about it. But Michael gets him first and scares him again with the foxy mask. Michael knew that he could get Evan
Poor
inside
Evan.
the diner if he really wanted to.
Hey,
by
G,
just
what's up, buddy?
being himself,
How you doing
the
today?
bad brother. Michael would have to bully Evan inside the diner for his party. So he gave it a try the next day to make sure he could. And by the end of it, he ended up locking Evan inside the back room of the diner for a few minutes. After letting Evan out to run and cry back home, Michael knew what had to happen the next day for his party. Evan would be more scared than ever to go back after today, and maybe not even Michael could bully him into the diner. So, Michael thought for a long time and planned his next moves as the night fell. Michael brought 3 friends along. If Michael himself couldn't bully Evan to the diner, maybe 3 more bullies just like him could. They did exactly
Michael's
that.
kind of a
They
dick.
forced Evan into the diner for his party. Evan pleaded to them all, saying he wants to leave, but Michael only suggested Evan got closer to the 2 Springlock suits. He knew getting Evan face to face with the animatronic would scare Evan the most, so they all picked Evan up from the ground and carried him. Evan was shaking like crazy, pleading to them all that he didn't
Poor
want to go.
fucking kid.
He didn't want to be there. He didn't want to meet them. But they kept walking closer and closer to Fredbear and Spring Bonnie until they were right in front of their stage. Michael suggested Evan wants to kiss Fredbear, so the 4 of them moved Evan off of their arms and they forced his head and
Oh,
half
is
his
this like a
body to
fan
the inside
animation?
of Fredbear's mouth. For Michael, this was the best he could do to scare Evan, have him right inside the thing he feared the most. Evan was crying and shaking like he never had before, and Michael even felt some form of sympathy for him. and they watched it happen right in front of them, and they laughed. One thing that no one knew besides William and Henry about the springlock suits which Evan was now trapped inside the mouth of were that springlock failures could occur. These would happen when the locks that are holding the endoskeleton in the folded position to allow a human to be in the suit break. This causes the endoskeleton to spring into its usual position, and anyone caught inside the suit when this happens will be impaled and crushed by the parts. There are two known reasons
springlock failures are
occur. One of
whack.
these is when the spring locks interact with water and moisture. For this reason, employees must not wear the suit in rooms with too much moisture in the air. The second way these accidents can occur is when an employee fails to correctly wind the spring locks all the way up, causing them to burst on the person inside. William Henry knew about these, and always made sure to handle them correctly to avoid any fatal injuries to other staff and themselves. Evan's rivers of tears poured onto Fredbear's springlock suit, which caused the springlocks to interact with water and moisture, causing Fredbear to spring into its usual position, which intended Fredbear's mouth being shut. So Fredbear's mouth is shut with Evan inside of it, causing Fredbear to break Evan's skull and cause fatal damage to his head. Fredbear essentially bit down onto him in the span of a second. Michael and his friends watched as blood dripped from the suit. William instantly heard about what happened and rushed to the diner. It was panic. A mad scramble to save Evan from death. The ambulance, police, anything you could think of, all rushed to the diner, and
William's
Evan was
gotta
sent
get what he
hospital
deserves,
immediately.
to be fair.
William had no
He-
time to blame Michael.
He killed
nor
5
himself.
kids out of
They went to the
cold blood.
hospital and watched as Evan was in a coma.
But it
Throughout
sucks
Evan's
that, like,
coma, he had one
his
repeating,
kids have to pay
seemingly
for it.
endless nightmare. It was like the nights he had just been going through this past week. He started out his bed and tried to survive being hunted by nightmarish animatronics. This was different. Every other usual animatronics would be was something he had never seen before, something he feared the most, and something he was changed by forever. It was a nightmarish version of Fredbear. After a long day of waiting,
So as a representation
William
of
brings
night-
in the Fredbear plush he used to monitor Evan,
night 6,
and
I
after
think.
resting the plush
Night 5 or
next
night
to him,
6.
William is given the news that Evan will be dead shortly. William holds Evan's hands, the same way the Fredbear plush was in his other. Within Evan's coma, the clock rung 6 a.m. He shut his eyes and reopened them to see the plush Fredbear, who was like his closest friend, and the 4 plush animatronics behind it. In the real world, Michael said his goodbyes first. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. Michael left William to be alone with Evan. William said his final words to Evan, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." And William cried while holding Evan and the Fredbear plush. Within
William
Evan's coma,
cried?
he watched the Fredbear plush disappear in front of him and cried for one more time before shutting his eyes. William got up and walked out of the room, hearing the sound of Evan's own heartbeat flatline. Fredbear's family diner closes instantly. The police still suspect William for the missing children's incident, which causes Henry to consider cutting ties with William while continuing the Fazbear brand. William has lost 2 of his children to his own creations, causing his wife to become emotionally unstable, leaving him. And with all of this, William begins his descent into madness.
That's what it said. He wasn't mad already. Anybody that creates animatronics with a murderous intent to kill and kidnap children is already fucking mad, bro. He got what he deserved. It just sucks that the kids had to pay for it.
Too many times has come to pass.
So those are the 5 kids that he killed.
Put aside, getting out alive, getting out alive.
Despite the name, hurricanes are not the leading cause of
As I
death
understand it,
in
Golden Freddy
Hurricane, Utah.
Is
A small remote
Evan.
city surrounded by mountains has an ongoing
Evan's
mystery with
spirit,
a
at
twisted,
least.
dark story that's continuing to be unraveled. What really happened at Fredbear's? Where did all those children really go? Most importantly, what's next for Fazbear's Entertainment? Henry and Emily thought for days, weeks, months. How can the business possibly come back from this? How can he fix all those issues and bring people in again? There were so many problems with the previous location. To name a few, the Springlock suits failed massively. killing William's child and being an extremely dangerous idea to begin with. The work-in-progress animatronics from Fredbear's need more time, as now Henry would be completely taking over their construction. William Afton is still a major suspect of the missing children's incident. Henry would not be so quick to work with him again, so he would have to solo it. The fact that the incident even happened in the first place was bad enough. They needed more security. Henry thought and came up with one easy, seemingly simple solution. Remove the problems that distort the Fredbear name. Instead of doing it solo, Henry needed to take Fazbear Entertainment to the next level in business by creating a team. A team of hard-working managers, night shift workers, chefs, accountants, executives, and so much more.
Henry is William Afton's partner in the start of
family diner.
Fredbear's
This
Pizza.
new team had their first meeting and discussed what to do with the animatronics. And together, they eventually decided to move the previous animatronics, such as the work-in-progress bear, bunny, chicken, and fox, into parts and services, a new room in the new location. The company began working on new toy animatronics, which they decided would be plastic-looking animatronics which weren't spring-lock suits, but a normal suit with an endoskeleton inside, with fully functional fingers, wedge-shaped feet, eyelashes, and facial appearances reminiscent of a ventriloquist doll. They also wanted to include some new, unique, different animatronics to the brand, which they eventually created. A smaller, childlike animatronic, which the children could relate to. Unlike the animatronics, this is more human-looking. This animatronic held a sign in one hand, saying exactly what was being held in the other. This animatronic was called Balloon Boy. Now only two problems remain: William and security, which Henry vowed to solve on his own, as in his mind, only he could do it right. Upon thinking over several days while his company worked on this new location, which would be a juniors to Fredbear's, he knew William could not be attached to the company anymore. Having a man thought to be the murderer of 5 children, co-owning the restaurant, no, even being in their team, would be the worst look for the children's entertainment company with their specific demographic. So, Henry would need to sort some sort of security, some sort of way to allow everyone in, but keep William out. After several nights of coming up with different ideas, he eventually settled on one: a facial recognition system. If a human driver met with
I've seen this clip. I saw it on TikTok today.
Coding, they would be able to tell whether you were William or not. There was no doubt this wouldn't work, so Henry began making and then putting his idea into motion. Henry wanted nothing more than the safety of his customers. He wouldn't want to lose all those kids and watch all their lives be taken away. And
I don't know if it explained it. Basically, the way that Henry
designed a thought to his mind. He thought of his darling daughter,
I don't know if it explains it or not, but the way Henry designed the new animatronics they're talking about is kind of like how William designed his to be programmed to kidnap fucking children and be murderous and shit. He did that, but it's got facial recognition just for William Afton. So it's literally like the new toy ones and that they're talking about right now are kill on sight if they ever see William Afton in the restaurant or whatever.
Charlotte, or Charlie for short, and made sure that just in case the facial recognition failed, his daughter would be safe no matter. Henry loved showing Charlie his work and would love bringing her in the locations. But as soon as the missing children's incident occurred, he was always unsure of bringing her to the locations, or even just letting her anywhere near the creations. So, he created an animatronic that sat in a box, was held by strings like a marionette, and
fuck off, Seth. This dude worked hard on this video.
Charlie, and protect her with security as its main priority. He called this animatronic the Puppet. Frustration, agony, instability. These emotions are what the psychotic monster that was William Afton himself felt. Elizabeth first, now Evan. His wife became unstable, but what about him? The night of Evan's death, William went back to the now closed Fredbear's. He looked coldly at the animatronic that had murdered his son. William was filled with rage and wanted nothing more than to see Fredbear fall, so he grabbed whatever he could and began demolishing Fredbear.
That's hit 1800.
Ever so slightly, with each hit, the life was being drained out of the Springlock suit's eyes until it was a pile of animatronic dump in the same state as the work-in-progress animatronics. Destroyed or not, the damage Fredbear caused had already been done. The damage Michael caused. William blamed Michael for taking it too far, for causing Evan to cry inside the suit's mouth, causing Fredbear to kill him. Hatred filled William's veins. Hatred towards Michael that went so far that William wished it were him who got killed by Fredbear. After the longest weeks of William's life, he heard news of a new location run by Fazbear's Entertainment opening, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Upon learning the news, his adrenaline spiked. William thought he paid for what he did to those kids with the loss of 2 of his own, so maybe now he would have some luck. This was his chance at a comeback, a possible distraction from everything, an escape from the pain and a glimpse into the light. William drove to this new location, Henry waiting his arrival at the front door. William got out of his car and headed towards his new opportunity.
Come on, you know you can't be here. Don't make this more difficult than it has to be.
William's excitement turned into shock, his stomach screaming thanks to what felt like a gunshot.
Henry, we're the co-owners of this franchise.
William says in confusion.
Where?
William mutters.
Are you kidding me? After everything.
You mean after everything you caused, which you're responsible for, including killing those innocent kids?
William
this
opened
sex?
his mouth to deny.
Don't even. We can all see the
He's
truth
doing his own
in
voice
one
acting.
thing.
Henry, I need this. After all that's happened to me, I've suffered long enough.
You're not the victim here, William. I started this shit from scratch, with my bare fucking hands. I'm not risking you tearing all that.
This is his own voice acting, I'm pretty sure.
William expresses to Henry that,
The business will fail without me. I need to come back.
and without hesitation, Henry sends William away once more.
Please. Just please leave the premises, old friend.
And with a misleading grin
So
on
in
his face,
2
William
you'd guard
complies.
as Henry,
He gets
and you
into
play
his
as Henry?
car and drives away slowly. Henry won the argument and stands with joy as he finally sees relief that he's gotten the final problem out of the way and can now begin to move forward. William raced dangerously down the streets, fueled with rage. He thought for the entire drive home what to do next, until suddenly he got that feeling he felt ages ago, that strange, unnerving urge to kill, and within seconds William thought of the perfect target. Charlotte Emily was the daughter of Henry, and who William now wanted to get rid of. The words echoed in his head.
Everything you caused, which you're responsible for.
But
That's
now
evil.
his daughter would die because of him. Frustration,
pure
agony,
evil.
instability, all what Henry deserved to feel in William's mind. But unlike Fredbear's, this would be extremely difficult to kill anyone, as there's an entire new security system in place against William specifically, and to make it harder, specifically to protect his daughter, the puppet would be out of its box, keeping Charlie safe before William even got close to the door. William thought overnight, planning what he would do and how to avoid this issue with the puppet, which is when a realization popped into his head. The puppet is dependent on the box being open, so what if the box was closed shut, essentially trapping the puppet inside? William played the situation out in his head over and over. If Charlie leaves the pizzeria while the puppet is trapped inside, then who would be there to see him grabbing her and murdering her in cold blood? No one. This was when he crafted his plan, and the next day put it in motion. One night, a group of bullies trapped the security puppet in its box, and coincidentally, Charlie was stuck outside Freddy's. Preparation met its opportunity as Charlie tried to run away to find a way to escape, until a car pulled beside the alley and a man got out of it. Charlie ran to William as she knew who he was after the many times Henry and William met with her there. Charlie grinned until William pulled something from behind his back. William killed Charlie in the alleyway outside of Freddy's. Her body lay numb in the rain. He thought to dispose of the body and get rid of any evidence, but it was hailing down with the rain. The fingerprints would be cleared off, so he felt no need. So
I don't think
he walks
fingerprints
away
work
and gets
like
into
that.
his car, driving off happier than ever. The revenge was bittersweet. Now Henry would finally pay for pushing William away and making his life even more of a hassle. The puppet knocked its box wide open and knew where Charlie had gotten to, its only mission being to protect her and bring her back inside. It went outside and tried to get to her, but kept breaking down due to the heavy rain. It found Charlie, and upon seeing its mission was a failure, it rested by her and wouldn't move. Henry couldn't find her. Neither could the police. This was all too familiar, another missing child. Henry went to look for the puppet, her protector, and found its box pushed wide open. He then went outside and found its body lying dead on the ground. It was damaged and there was something next to it, which Henry immediately knew who it was. Henry wasn't stupid. He knew it was William who did this. Nights after he was pushed away, Henry was enraged and began thinking whether the business should close or not, but no, he would be proving William right if he did that. So instead, Henry goes on a well-deserved break and lets his team continue working on the location in his absence. This was becoming interesting for William. How many more times could he kill and get away with it? He had his eyes set on Freddy's and decided to do a rerun of his biggest killing spree, causing another missing children's incident to occur. He knew all the old suits were being transferred into this new location, so he knew exactly how to enter without setting off the animatronics. The spring bunny suit. He found it in the parts and services room and put it on, and one night William roamed the building in the suit killing another 5 kids.
Wait, he just kills another 5 kids? That's it? That's all you're gonna touch on that? He just got away with it?
The original children killed by William back in Fredbear's were back, now possessing the work-in-progress animatronics that they were originally stuffed in, their spirits being able to stay there as long as they did thanks to their corpses attaching to the endoskeleton. Evan himself, William's child, was given a second chance in Fredbear, which William had put his body into not long ago, trying to put him back together and make his body fuse with the animatronics. Now, with the help of the reanimated animatronics, the puppet gives the recently killed children a second chance, but this time within the toy animatronics and Balloon Boy.
Yo, what
This
the
was
fuck?
unheard of. Animatronics come to life, fusing dead children's souls into the suits. How did this even work? Many questions would be asked, and they would most likely be experimented on and given to the government or something huge like that. But the thing is, no one even knew. The animatronics acted how they did originally, but now their goals were to simply find their killer and finish him off for good. Each night they would see if the night shift worker was William and would continuously travel to their office to see so. The company dismissed this as abnormal and claimed to understand.
You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week, but complained about conditions.
I wouldn't even finish a week, bro.
So,
I start seeing these animatronics move on their own, I'm out. First night, later.
Seemed to move around at night, and even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that's your office.
During all of this, the bullies that helped trip the puppet kept screwing with the animatronics in the pizzeria. This time it was Mangle. They ripped its original suit to pieces until it was a connected pile of scraps. The animatronic was dismantled daily by these kids, and the staff eventually stopped repairing it. The animatronics were getting angry, causing them to behave differently towards adults and staff members. But one day, Mangle became more unstable when it was once again dismantled and bit down on one of the kids and caused the loss of the frontal lobe of the victim's brain. All of the toy animatronics were scrapped due to apparent malfunctions, more specifically this bite from Mangle. In the same time, the second missing children's incident had also begun to come into light, and eventually the building was put into lockdown for now to avoid any more casualties.
From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, you know. We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
On this day, they tracked Henry down, and he went back to work, but not for the good reasons Henry hoped he'd come back for. Fazbear Entertainment held a meeting with the entire team, and they eventually decided to shut the location down and work on a smaller location with no security system animatronics. Just simple singing and dancing animatronics like Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The animatronics would be made by Henry to avoid any incidents or bugs with the animatronics. And for weeks on end, Henry worked and repaired the work-in-progress suits and brought them to life. Freddy Fazbear would be the main driver of the restaurant, with Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, and Foxy the Pirate Fox tagging along.
Wait, is this the... Okay, are we approaching the first Five Nights at Freddy's
wife
then?
opened the door and was surprised to see him. William
the
instantly
timeline?
raises the point that he hates Michael and he wants her to take him, or else he'll throw him out to the streets. They argue. He doesn't want to be in his son's life. For a bad reason, being a bad dad, or a good reason, protecting him as everything near William falls, is unclear. After what felt like an hour, William decides he's done with the argument and storms off to sit in his car goalless. William's wife, now sick of hearing what he has to say, begins to shout and scream that he Blood came from her stomach, and she watches William stare as she falls to the ground, passing out, never to awaken again. He
What the
drags her
fuck
body
happened
to the
to her?
car and puts her inside of it, slamming the boot shut.
Did he kill her
William
too?
begins work with Circus Baby sitting across from him. William made Baby to lure, capture, and kill kids, and unfortunately Elizabeth fell to his own creation, but with nothing else to lose. Why stop at one feature? During the late hours of the night, William created his next two animatronics, Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy, both with different ways of luring children and killing them. Both animatronics had a white and purple color code. Funtime Freddy looked like Toy Freddy, but had a speaker on its chest below its black bow tie. Funtime Freddy holds a Bonnie plushie figure William would call Bon Bon in his right hand. Funtime Foxy looked exactly like put-together Mangle, but with a large tail and, much like Freddy, a speaker on its chest. William also made a third animatronic that night, Ballora, a ballerina that would spin and sing. William
That
based
one's
his
creepy as
animatronic
fuck.
not on luring nor capturing, but on containing and storing his wife, which is who the animatronic was based off in the first place. Between animatronic builds, William made smaller animatronics, like Bon Bon, for fun, such as Bitty Babs and Mini Arenas. With these main four animatronics with their own AI systems, William opened a new location, but not one that could be seen so easily with an outsider's view. An underground location where outsiders, or customers, could rent out and have the animatronics at their birthday parties as a special delivery of a surprise. This new location would go on to be called Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals. After the long few years since Evan's death in 1983, William sat in his office he used to monitor Evan in and looked at his child's empty bedroom, eventually turning the monitors off to see his reflection, the reflection of a broken man descending further down his rabbit hole of madness. But instead of looking away out of shame, he grins of demoralization.
Damn. William's over
Almost
for
a year
William.
after Fazbear Entertainment closed Freddy's, the company opened
been
up
over
a
from
new
the start.
location to the public, Freddy
But-
Fazbear's Pizzeria, but new.
Where fantasy
The
and fun come to
rivalry
life.
between William and Henry continues with William's location's grand opening. Michael is abandoned and unsure where to go next. But beside all of this, unknowingly to William, the animatronics are now possessed. Worst of all, some containing his own family, such as Circus Baby, Fredbear, and Ballora. The animatronics are angry, hungry for blood, trying to find their killer and out for nothing but cold-hearted revenge.
Wait, it was the ballet bitch. Did it say who the ballet bitch is? What is this? Is it a wife or something? Because William and Michael are the only
William
ones
sneaks
alive
into
right
Freddy's and
now.
begins walking towards the animatronics. William starts to head towards what has become of his creations with only one goal in his unstable mind.
His wife? Yeah, okay. I don't think it ever explained that. Oh, they did say it? My bad. Oh,
The
it's
souls
not
of the children were freed from their eternal cage. William knew something was wrong with the
What? You should have received an email saying that it's approved. Here, I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, I haven't received an email.
Let me have it in my phone.
What do I need to send another email to find? It says my total lodging is only 2 weeks.
You should literally get a email from DTS. Looks like this.
Yeah, nothing. This is all. This is the only thing I can see.
And
it's not. That is still view only.
Well, what is? Stop. It's like only $200 allowed.
$288 allowed for lodging.
Because it just said $858 was your total. There's nothing else you can do
Other than wait.
See where your trip authorization currently is in the approval process.
Like
created, signed, reviewed, approved, budget adjusted, pay link. Well, check your card and see if it's. Have you checked your card?
it's still the same.
It's still the same. Okay. I need to call mine and make sure. It might just be taking you. They might be going like alphabetical. Yeah, you gotta think that like there's also a lot, and they just now started to work again. Maybe. Up there. If anything, you need to put some money back just in case you have to pay that. Because you'll get the money back. You just have to. You might just have to do it before, you know, your card gets declined or something.
Everything.
Robots from the start. He knew the children were still in there. Now free of their prison, the children were angry, staring at the one who took their lives away prematurely. They headed towards William in anger, and he ran to something they would hope.
Okay, hold on. Well, let's go back just a second. Back to where I was stabbing the fuck out of him.
The souls of the children were freed from their eternal cage. William knew something was wrong with the robots from the start. He knew the children were still in there. Now free of their prison, the children were angry, staring at the one who took their lives away prematurely. They headed towards William in anger, and he ran to something that would hopefully scare the vengeful spirits away. William laughed inside of the spring bunny suit as the spirits stared at him, remembering their final day.
What? Are you scared of the funny bunny?
William queried the spirits, who all looked up to the roof. The room they were in was unfinished and only meant for some employees, mainly just Henry, and the room was also off any cameras so no one could see what was happening inside of them. The whole area was built poorly and there wasn't much inside of it, but thanks to the heat of the room, the frozen condensation dripped from the roof slowly, maybe a drop of water per 2 seconds. This wouldn't be a problem if William didn't forget the basic rules of a Springlock suit. Springlocks and water can't coexist. The Springlock suit malfunctioned and sprung into its usual position, and William fell within his creation with blood piling all around him. He pleaded the spirits for help, begging for his life to be spared.
Kinda deserved it.
The spirits went away, out of William's sight. On this day, Henry
he had the audacity to beg them for help.
Hearing the shouts of an old friend, he ran to see what happened, only to see William inside the spring bunny suit, blood covering it whole.
William? Please?
Upon hearing he was there, Henry thought he would die.
He's still alive?
Blood loss, so he walked out the room with that thought and slammed it shut. He considered that maybe karma had finally come for William.
Please!
Over time, Henry covered the entrance to the safe rooms until there was no possible way to get inside or even know the room was there. But unfortunately, the damage done to the animatronic was too much for Henry to fix quickly, and not just putting them back together will help. People were complaining about the foul smells coming from the animatronics as their suits haven't been fully opened for years. William meddling with their suits caused a lot of bad press for the franchise. William dying, the animatronics broken, everyone he knew being dead. If it wasn't too much for Henry before, it's too much now. It began to overwhelm Henry and he was struggling to keep this franchise alive. So, in the year of 1993, Henry shut Freddy's for the final time, not planning to ever open another location in the franchise. But there was one thing Henry couldn't forget and push aside so easily: his daughter. He had this feeling that his daughter was somehow inside the puppet. He had no idea how or why she would be, but he feels Charlie inside of it, and it's the only one that he couldn't find when destroying the toy animatronics. At the time he thought maybe someone stole it, which, since he was going to destroy it anyways, it wouldn't be a big deal, but maybe Charlie pushed the puppet away or something like that. He didn't know. He sounded insane, even to himself, but he wouldn't let the chance slip past, so he created a new animatronic he'd called Lefty, which stood for Lure, Encapsulate, Fuse, Transport, and Extract. That looked like a black version of Toy Freddy, but was created for a completely different purpose: capturing and finding the puppet and possibly destroying it to free Charlie's soul. William going missing wasn't too much of a surprise to Michael, as his father always goes missing throughout the night or during the day. But as time passed and the weeks went by, Michael began to realize his father's absence was getting progressively longer and longer. He goes to Henry to ask if he knows where William has gone to, which Henry denies and tells Michael to look at the other locations his father works at. So, Michael traveled to the only other location opened at the time that his father owns: Circus, Babies, Entertainment, and Rentals.
Oh no!
Going down the elevator, Michael thinks of everything that's happened. He
I think we're in sister
daily for the
location
loss
now.
of his younger brother Evan, never forgiving himself no matter what his mother said to him during the nights of tears and breakdowns. Obviously, he knew Elizabeth had died, but he was never once told how. He couldn't ask his mother after the divorce and William's advice to stay away from her. He knew William knew how Elizabeth died, but he never mentioned that to him, nor asked William how it happened. But maybe now, after his father's disappearance, Michael can find him and finally ask what happened to her and get some sort of closure. The doors of the elevator opened suddenly, and Michael went towards the primary control module. This is when he realized something. Michael lost enough already. He would do anything to find his father, even if it meant he was mistaken for a late-night technician. Hiding under a desk, hiding from animatronics, hunting in the dark, and fixing broken animatronics, with some much-needed advice of course, was an insane thing to do. Michael was about to give up on this location on the third night, until...
Jump scare.
Michael was afraid inside the scooping room. He was stuck inside a springlock suit, the same type he watched his brother get brutally murdered inside of. He almost fainted until he was given the reminder not to activate the spring locks. Circus Baby goes on to tell Michael what the room really is about, a machine called the Scooper. But before Baby can begin explaining, 2 technicians went inside the room.
Okay, bring her over. Forward. 1. More. Okay, stop. Set it down. Watch the step. What happened to it this time? Just seems like these things can't go a day without breaking down. Who knows? It's always the same, man. Some kind of hardware malfunction. Well, hey, I have to be somewhere in 15 minutes, and this place gives me the creeps. Can we just get this over with? It's all automated. We don't have to be here for it. Just get her on the rollers, and we can go.
The loud sounds of something coming towards Michael was all he could hear. He eventually saw what it was. It was Ballora. Baby explains that
There's something very important that I've learned how to do over time. How to pretend. Ballora never learns. But I do. They think there is something wrong on the inside.
Ballora gets opened up by the scooper hitting her. Each hit, Michael became more and more hopeless for his own survival, but he also felt something. As if he felt the pain of the animatronic. As if he was watching someone he knew being killed directly in front of him. Eventually, the animatronic's torches stopped, and Baby explained that she'd opened the faceplate so they could find him on the cameras. Michael no longer heard Baby's voice and waited for quite a while until he was found and rescued from the suit. Michael knew Baby kept him there because she wanted him to see the animatronic be destroyed. But why? That's all he thought about on the way home. And knowing William isn't down there, he didn't plan to return the next day. Michael sat and watched his favorite show, The Immortal and the Restless, which he would usually watch every single night after coming home. Besides, last night.
Clara, I tell you, I paid my taxes, Clara.
So why are the IRS here? I've come to take the child.
Michael thought about how out of all the animatronics he come across, only 2 stood out. Baby and Ballora, who were the only 2 who didn't seem to have pre-recorded voice lines at all, unlike Funtime Freddy's birthday lines. Michael knew he was onto something, so he called his mother for the first time in ages. She didn't pick up.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Oh, she wasn't gonna answer.
Let me in the house. Please, let me in the house. It's me, William.
Anyways, call me back tomorrow maybe, and I'll hopefully be able to respond.
Wait, what? Why was William there visiting her? Why did he feel a connection to Ballora, who reminded him of his mother, who used to sing countless bedtime lullabies, and a similar connection to Baby, who reminded him of his sister, who never shut up, but always wanted Michael to know anything and everything? Michael thought and thought more and more until the realization hit, and he prepared to return underground the next day.
Ah, no.
Today, Michael would have to fix Circus Baby. He entered the primary control module only to see the 2 technicians hanging. This was horrific to Michael, but after seeing his brother die in front of his eyes, it wasn't the worst. He's told by Baby to destroy her body by sending it to the scooping room and is then instructed to go and find and enter the room himself. He enters the room and sees all the Funtime animatronics destroyed.
Warning, you've entered a highly dangerous area. You have entered from Maintenance Hatch 1B, reserved for cleaning and repair of the scooper. Entering this side of the room is strictly prohibited by unauthorized personnel.
And a new animatronic, Ent, appear. Ent was formed by all the Funtime animatronics who destroyed themselves and mixed together to make one amalgamation. They formed into one because they were trying to escape and get out of the underground, and their plan was better explained here with their speech.
Yeah, that's kind of
We're
whack.
in the scooping room now.
Poor Michael, his whole ass family wants to shank him for no reason. That's what I'm thinking, dude. Like, it's a...
Funtime Freddy has
I mean, to be fair, Michael is part of the reason why his little brother Evan died, but really is poor parenting on William.
Already been here today. I've been out before, But they always put me back. They always put
Oh,
us
I see
back
her.
inside.
Well, you can barely see her
There's
right there.
nowhere
That's
for
creepy
us
as
to hide
fuck.
here.
He,
There's
him,
nowhere
all
to
whatever
go
whatever it is.
when we look like
It's
this.
everything.
But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
The scooper only hurts for a moment. No! No! Don't scoop it. Oh, Michael's getting scooped. Michael's done for. Rip Michael.
The animatronic put itself inside
All of
Michael's
them.
corpse. This was how they
All
would
of his
escape
kids were
looking
just
like a
fucking
human with
products of
work.
what William created. Or their deaths were just products of what William created. It's so tragic. They paid the price for his actions. Sucks ass. I don't get why the spirit of his mom and sister are just
they
like,
went
well,
ahead
we're
and
robots
left
now,
the
may as well
building.
just fucking
They
kill
saw
everyone.
sunlight for the first
I
time
think
in
they
ages and began walking around the
I
neighborhood.
think I saw
but the
something
body
explaining
being
it. Like
dead
they just
wasn't a
get
good thing. It
really
slowly
lost
started
and
to
confused.
decompose.
And so they become angry. They're pretty justifiably mad, so.
The body laid on the floor, numb, with Ennard escaping into the sores, until Michael heard the voice of Circus Baby, who he now realized must be his sister Elizabeth, trying to save him by chanting, "You won't die."
You won't die. You won't die.
Pretty sure he's gonna fucking die. You killed him. You scooped out his fucking guts.
You won't die. Won't die. You won't die.
He didn't die. His body rose up, and no matter what it took, Michael was ready to find William and finish him for good. The body of Ennard had continued to roam under the saws, waiting for a moment to escape without being seen and therefore instantly destroyed. But there was a problem within Ennard. More so, a problem within the Funtime group. Baby was basically the leader of it all, being basically controlling and almost commanding their every move. The other animatronics, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy, were annoyed of Baby's controlling manner and decided to kick her out. Baby couldn't do anything against a 1v3, so she was ejected out of Ennard immediately. But Baby vowed to the others that she'd put herself back together and become more than Ennard ever will be. After kicking Baby out, Ennard never fixed its wires to be in a
extreme
clean manner, so
conviction
they
from a
stayed
fucking
sporadic.
robot.
And over time, it collected small parts until it could remake a mask based off Funtime Freddy and create its own
Michael's
figures,
used
eventually
play as in all
becoming
the FNaF games
Molten
6.
Freddy. This left Circus Baby to go on a hunt to end up rebuilding herself to turn into Scrap Baby.
It kind of made
William
it
was
seem
in
like
the room,
Henry. He
thinking
plays
about
Henry
all
in
that's
number
happened.
2.
Had it been 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month? He had no idea. For all he knew, he could be in this room slowly rotting away for the rest of his life, and he would never be able to tell when a single day went by. He couldn't do anything about it but think isolated and alone in the now hidden safe room, feeling the pain of the spring locks and suffering on the inside and out. This section of his life would be the part of his existence where he suffered the most, trapped within his own creation that started it all, facing his own consequences and being stripped of what he'd taken himself. For once in his life, he would finally feel guilt and a large amount of regret in his dying heart. But this was a highly populated building, where, to his knowledge, people were still working at. Maybe he would see the light of day very, very soon.
Yeah, a lot of this lore is just... Not a lot of it's set in stone.
Michael had been living in the shadows for these 30 years, searching for his father to kill him and finish him for killing his mother and sister. Unknowingly, the speech Michael would give to the stars made him true sooner than he thought.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to.
What?
She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
In the year 2023, a new location opens up based on the myths and rumors of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and Fredbear's Family Diner, filled with items from the locations which gained the title of a horror attraction. This location was called Fazbear Fright. This would be a location that would have gone completely fine, but while looking for old artifacts in the abandoned locations, Phone Dude comes across two things.
Hey man, okay, I have some awesome news for you. First of all, we found some vintage audio training cassettes. Dude, these are like prehistoric. I think they were like training tapes for like other employees or something like that. So I thought we could like have them playing like over the speakers as people walk through the attraction. Dude, that makes us feel legit, man. But I have an even better surprise for you. You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
Oh no.
Gotta go, man. Well look, it's in there somewhere. I'm sure you'll see it. Okay, I'll leave you with some of this great audio that I found. Talk to you later,
Soon
man.
enough, they would unleash a horror
Just
locked
watch
away
FNaF
30 years
VHS
ago.
tapes. Oh, dude. I might. I heard about those. I don't know anything about them.
Michael hears the news of a new location opening up called Fazbear's
Or if
Fright,
I've seen
a
any
horror
of it.
attraction based off the events of Fredbear's and Freddy's.
Are they
He
pretty
hears that
long?
they found
Like, is
real
there a lot of?
animatronics
Because
that
I
still
saw there
works
was like a
and would use it
FNaF
as the
movie.
main
It's like
attraction
2.5
for the
hours
location.
long.
Michael knew this wasn't a torn down animatronic.
That I low-key
no.
may even
He
watch
felt the
just 'cause,
same
you know,
connection to
Shiny
it that he
Hunting's
felt with
boring.
Ballora and Baby. This was his father, William. So he traveled to
45 minutes.
Fazbear's with a match in hand, ready to end this, bringing both the company and William down once and for all.
You deserve this.
Give me you.
Okay. Not sure the Mission Impossible music. I think it's Mission Impossible, but
Firefighters from 3 different city departments have been called out to combat the
There were
flames at
strange
Fazbear
noises
Fright,
coming
which
from
now be
inside the
threatened
building,
over business
which was later verified to be
Michael escapes the fire while William meets his final demise. The fire that
Final
Michael
demise,
started
huh?
helped burn out the spirits from their animatronic suits.
I'll
The
believe it when
children's
I see
spirits
it.
rejoiced after seeing William burning, and they decided to go to the old and long abandoned Freddy's location where they were once killed 40 years ago. They sit on the empty seats as the puppet comes to see them happy, seeing that her goal was truly complete. The spirits inhabiting Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were ready to rest while Golden Freddy struggled to be pleased. But one of the two spirits inside of it became happy and decided to rest with the others. They then finished their birthday party, which was prematurely cut short so long ago. During this moment, the spirits of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and one of the spirits inside Golden Freddy were pleased, and finally set free of their eternal cages. The puppet and the final spirit inside Golden Freddy were all that remained out of the 6 of them. The puppet wanted to make sure all that William had caused was undone, and Golden Freddy remained vengeful, unwilling to leave so early. They wanted to make sure William was done for good and that the fire burnt him whole. William was burning in the same capsule he'd been trapped in for 30 years, struggling to survive with the metal of the suit being destroyed. The more and more William kept
30
burning, the
years.
more he kept losing from his body, the sooner death approached. He lost more of his right ear. His head started to rip open more and more, exposing his skull, but he saw a simple flaw in Michael's plan. In order for Michael to escape the burning building, he would need to be near an exit, obviously, but since Michael had a brief encounter with William right before it all went down, William would have had to be near Michael upon the flames erupting, meaning when Michael ran to the exit close by, William wasn't far from it either. This very same exit William's eyes are now set on. William could escape and finally be free once more.
oh yeah.
Henry
I'm
had
sure
sat
that
in
worked
sorrow
too.
for so many
It's
years,
plot armor.
contemplating everything. Not only to fill out countless amounts of paperwork, not only living with the thought that William could have possibly survived the room, not only with the grief of his family dying, but with the knowledge of something weird happening with the robots, the knowledge that something
Yeah,
else
30
is
years
in
behind
them.
that brick wall,
These
dude.
animatronics, they're alive, but how? How did William do it? How did he get my daughter inside that thing?
This one fact kept Henry awake at night. Of course he had destroyed the toy animatronics. Sure, the original animatronics had all been destroyed too, sure. But what about William's own creations, which Henry was very much aware of? What about Michael? Where was he? What about his own daughter too? There were too many loose ends, more specifically loose animatronics, that Henry needed to be solved and finished for good. Henry thought all of these years about this, making tapes as he went on to describe his thoughts. Eventually, an idea struck his mind. He grabbed his recorder and hit record.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
Henry knew that he couldn't do this all by himself. So although unprepared, he set up advertisements for someone to play the role of a pizzeria manager, so they could help him salvage the animatronics lord, as well as raise money to make their own jobs easier for them, as Henry decided instead of creating the entire pizzeria on his own, he would let the employer do it, purchasing items themselves and making the pizzeria truly their own. With these ideas,
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place
opens up, a new location created by one of the founding members of Fazbear's Entertainment, Henry.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza?
Michael saw this going around everywhere. He knew that after all these years, Henry would have to know what happened in between William's disappearance and Michael reuniting with him. What turned him into that monster? He must know. Michael headed towards the location to not only get answers, but to make sure there were no more animatronics with spirits attached to them. Circus Baby and Molten Freddy were lured to the pizzeria by an energy they didn't know, but a familiar one. It felt as if they were right back as Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. Deep down they felt that this energy was calling to them, and that this was their only hope of escape, as this was the only thing all of them had felt since the argument. So both Baby and Molten Freddy headed towards the location to find out who had called them back after all of this time. William, much like Michael, like father, like son, saw the news of this location spreading. He saw Henry's name next to the Fazbear's Entertainment logo and instantly rage spiked, thinking of the past. William wanted to kill Henry and end him for good, while also wanting to kill Michael, who after the events at Fazbear Fright, he knew would go to this new location to know what's going on. So finally, William also headed towards the location. Throughout his nights, Michael met with many familiar faces. Molten Freddy, who reminded him of Funtime Freddy from many years ago, remembering it was a combined version of Funtime Foxy as well as his mother, Ballora. He then saw Scrap Baby, who he knew exactly who it was, his younger sister Elizabeth, although they didn't exchange any words as he knew the cameras were on and watching his every move. He also encountered an unfamiliar face, Lefty, who he personally had no connection to, but finally he saw Springtrap. His father had survived the fire. Seeing all of them still somehow alive was something straight out of his nightmares. He had to think of a plan. During his shifts, the tutorial kept reminding him about Saturday.
There's a big party here Saturday. Make it through Saturday. Don't forget Saturday. You want them all to be in one place.
Something had been planned for Saturday. Michael knew something was going on. Why were all the leftover animatronics here? The only other person working here was Henry, so knowing him personally, he realized Henry must already have a plan. A plan to end it all. A big party on Saturday. Saturday came along quick, and Michael was once again fending himself from the animatronics like he did down underground many years ago. But this time wasn't so easy. Molten Freddy came in from the side. It never understood why Baby didn't just let Michael die the first time.
It's time to die, time to say goodbye, time to end these runs. You'll be set free in one try.
The voice of his mother called out,
what a
wanting
lovely
to end
rhyme.
Michael's suffering and let him rest while she cannot. This is when Springtrap enters. Pissed off at Michael's existence, and with every bit of anger in him, he went to kill Michael until Lefty helped Michael and turned against Springtrap. William vs. Charlotte. Michael ran away, crawling through the vents trying to escape, when suddenly Baby talked from beside Michael in the vents.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do, and be complete.
Yo,
I
this is
will
awkward.
make you proud, Daddy. Watch, listen, and be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed.
Henry's voice came from the monitor as he readied
Yo.
himself to set the entire place ablaze, with every last thing connected to Fazbear's ready to fade away from history forever. Henry speaks to everyone who remains.
You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is...
Yes. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's in my college.
Hell yeah. For $800. Nice, and that's a pretty good paycheck. You wouldn't have to go back to work if you could manage your money halfway decent. Mm-hmm.
Did I said anything?
All right. Got 10 minutes left. Let me do this encounter real quick. Back to this cold ass speech before I was interrupted.
The smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend.
Yo, that was cold as
if you
fuck.
can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then. So let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
So that's it.
What the fuck is this for? Birthday boy?
Finally, time to rest.
Henry's plan was working. Like he had claimed, he was close by and would die in the flames like the rest of them.
Get off of me.
William saw Michael and tried to get through the vents to him.
Michael, don't trap me in here. I'm gonna fucking kill you, you hear? I'll fucking kill you.
How the fuck was he alive,
Michael
bro?
sees his younger sister and his younger brother, welcoming him to rest with open arms.
Aw.
Michael!
Oh my god, you could have left
Once more. William now knows
your own
his son
voice
would die
acting
no
out.
matter what he did
I'm not gonna
himself.
lie, you're totally
William
ruining the
didn't say
vibe.
anything more. His look was enough.
It's done.
Michael steps closer to the bright light. the final thing he'd see.
I'm sorry.
The first sorry William's ever muttered in his entire life.
Got a feeling he's not sorry.
Restless, vengeful, and now ready. The only spirit who remains, the only spirit who's been unwilling to rest.
Golden Freddy,
aka Evan Afton. William is burning up and his soul is definitely not going anywhere good. But Evan had other plans for William. Not down, not up. He can go somewhere else. Evan was unfairly taken away. He was bullshit. He was stripped from his life. He was basically just beginning. He was young. He was so young. And he got tortured by his father. Tortured by William. Unable to sleep. It was horrible. His father gave him the worst life possible. Evan was fine with Michael though. He knew he didn't mean anything to happen with him. He saw the amount of pain and agony he went through to try and help Elizabeth survive and to find his own father. Evan saw Michael try and finish William off after figuring out what he had done. Evan knew Michael was in the right.
Yeah, that was creepy as fuck.
William deserves purgatory. William deserves this. Haunted by his creations, haunted by everything in the Afton family's past, William defends himself against what seems like 50 animatronics. He dies over and over and over again, never getting a break. Evan watches from afar, watching all his father's creations eat him, tear him in half, break his bones, and so much more.
That's
He
what
still
Ultimate
wasn't
Game Night
satisfied.
is? You play as
This wasn't
William?
enough, so he brought a new animatronic, Dee Dee, in, who would
It
not
still
only
wasn't
scare
enough.
him, but give him more to fight against, more ways to kill him, more horrors to face. Evan watched him for days, how long has it been? Not even he knew. Evan wasn't even sure if he was satisfied. Was he? Wasn't he? He didn't know. It was so long he'd been watching William die and die and die. He thought maybe it wasn't enough, so he decided to add more animatronics to William's purgatory until, while within the void, Evan fell.
Come and sit with me a while.
Old man consequences told Evan. Evan didn't know who or what this was.
Leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else.
There was nothing else for Evan, so after almost 50 years, Evan finally rests. Everything that came before is over.
Well, hey, he lived 50 years. Maybe not like you would want to, but he did. Or maybe even more, because he watched William do that for 50 years, right? I'm guessing this is the end of the video. This is the recap, the outro. There's one more extension to this after this by the same guy. I think it covers security breach, even though they probably don't know everything they want to know about it yet. But then again, lore horrors are very impressive. Then we'll watch the VHS tapes after. Because I'm
Before we end
intrigued.
off, where is FNaF AR, VR, and security breach in the timeline? Well, that's the reason this video exists so early. More information on this whole thing is in the pinned comment below, but I really hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for the support on this series. Make sure to go back on each part and like and comment and all that stuff to help support me the most, even though you've already done more than enough. One part
Security
left.
breach probably help on
See you
it.
there.
Yeah, this is it right here. Edited this. Updated full timeline will also be soon. I had to wait until lore was revealed from the game, so it took a little longer. Also important, please stop comparing me to Matt Pat and giving him shit. Alright, we got another 30-minute video to watch. Came out 6 days ago. Security breach part 5. I guess this was like a compilation of all of his videos, I guess. And this is the next.
In the aftermath of the events of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place and everything that came before, Fazbear Entertainment was at a standstill, with little to nothing being done with the business since then. There were always people working in the background. With the loss of the two founders, they didn't know where to go next, nor what to do. There was a giant lack of profit. They were making no income. So, a member of Fazbear's went rogue and had a plan to make money by creating a video game series based on the true events, rumors, and some myths that have occurred throughout these 50 or so years. But when these games caught the corrupted business's eyes,
Oh wait, this is Help Wanted.
Exactly what to do next.
That's what he's about to cover, I believe.
The potential here is huge, and what's really going to be interesting is the things people use it for.
I might get Help Wanted because it's VR, and that seems like, and you can play like the first 3 Five Nights at Freddy's games pretty much in their entirety. Yeah, at least the first 5 nights in all of them.
Don't forget to quickly scroll down, subscribe, turn on notifications, scroll back up, and enjoy possibly the darkest part of the entire series so far in order to end this twisted story.
It gets darker? It's pretty fucked already.
Fazbear Entertainment saw this game series start to gain popularity. They found out who had been making these games and went to them to make an offer. Eventually, the rogue indie developer was brought into the business, and together they started to think of an idea to cover up all the horrors that have previously occurred, and all the abandoned locations left to rot, all the schemes, myths, rumors, everything that has supposedly come from within this franchise. Fazbear Entertainment took the opportunity of these games and began to work on their own game with this developer, but under the official company name. This would be a game which would make fun of these myths and previous locations, a virtual reality game to make the players feel like they're in the action themselves. The game they would call Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. The company had big plans, big ideas, one of which being a big location. They knew they couldn't stick to games. That's not their brand, nor what the company is truly about. They make locations and attractions, so they would have to make a new location after all these years. But where? What would it look like? They had none of the previous animatronics working anymore, so who would even be the stars of the show this time? They thought and thought, and eventually the idea struck their mind. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place was the most recent location which burned to the ground, making it the most recent scandal. So they realized they had to cover it up soon before the public looked into it too much. So they knew exactly where they would put their new location. More so, how they would cover up their most recent scandal.
Literally.
They would need money.
You're gonna literally cover it up?
They planned to make a giant mall over the pizza place. It wouldn't be so cheap. So they needed a new source of income while creating this VR game. In the previous locations, merchandise was a big thing for the brand, selling character masks and toys such as plushies. This is when they decided to make a rerun of all their previous merchandise, this time making a delivery service for the merchant gifts, party supplies, and more. They would finally have a new source of income while they worked on the new VR video game, where the profits would hopefully skyrocket through the roof. But who would be the team making this game? Vanessa, a 23-year-old female with blonde hair and green eyes, was a part of the development team for this game. She has high anxiety and used calming protocols while working for the business. Her father, named Bill, and her mother had a custody battle in court with her father not playing so fairly, making her mother look bad by scaring Vanessa into lying and manipulating her into saying things that weren't true, which in turn made her mother lose the court case and lose custody of her. She was hired by Fazbear Entertainment to help work on this virtual reality game, and throughout making the game she...
What? They're in your app arms. You should be fine then. As long as it adds to your... It's supposed to like add... Yeah, it's not a new DD214. You always have the same one, technically. It's just supposed to add like your active duty time on it. Something like that. Oh, shit. Alright. Shall we?
Befriended another co-worker named Jeremy, who was the main beta tester for it. One day, someone at Fazbear Entertainment found old unused code from the old animatronics and directed the team to scan the code to help speed up the process of making the game and practically take a shortcut. They didn't think anything bad could possibly come from doing this, so they went ahead and tried implementing the real code into their game. While playtesting the game, a figure starts to appear to Jeremy. He had no idea what it was, but he called it the anomaly. He speaks out about this and tells the rest of the team what it was, but the only thing the team thought of it was that it was a bug, a glitch, and it was their sole objective to solve how to fix it. When Jeremy began to talk about how it was talking to him, no one ended up believing him. Surely it was just a glitch. Fazbear Entertainment knew he was up to something suspicious, they knew he saw something. But they don't care, they just want the game out as soon as possible, so they started to prepare to fire Jeremy from the business. Jeremy kept going, kept claiming he was having nightmares, hallucinations, hearing voices, all to do with this anomaly. But no one listened, no one believed him,
be William.
so he took matters into his own hands. One morning, Vanessa went to work early and saw Jeremy standing in the supply room on his own, and afterwards all she was able to see was a Halloween mask on the floor with ink sprayed everywhere, and Jeremy with his shirt also covered in ink. But she couldn't see his face because of the VR headset. But unknowingly to her, that wasn't ink. That wasn't a Halloween mask.
It was
Jeremy
blood.
had cut his face off with a guillotine paper slicer. He committed suicide to prevent the anomaly from taking over his mind and getting out. Soon enough, an employee saw Jeremy's dead body and reported it to the higher-ups.
I get it.
Vanessa, hearing this news,
It
goes
happened
to
to
talk the
Vanessa, and that's
higher-ups
how
about
Vanny
what happened
exists.
to him. But instead, she overhears a conversation between her manager Dale and someone else on a phone call. She learns that Fazbear Entertainment are stressing over a possible lawsuit, a suicide
That's
within
why
the company,
in security
on the
breach.
job.
Okay, I'm just gonna take my whack at this. He committed suicide so that it wouldn't happen to him and help wanted, but it does happen to Vanessa, and that's why that playing Princess Quest, playing a video game, frees Vanessa because she's trapped in her real self is trapped inside the video game. So you have to go inside and free it. I'm assuming.
Is
Makes
not
sense.
good in any way, shape, or form. But she learned something else from that conversation. It turns out the rogue indie game developer was actually employed by Fazbear Entertainment to make those ridiculous games. It was all just one giant cover-up, and the VR game would fully cover it up. Going as far as covering up the cover-up, Vanessa knocks and walks in. She's told she needs to finish Jeremy's previous work for him and become the playtester. Scared of what this company could do to her, she agrees. She begins playtesting the game exactly where Jeremy left off, but this being where he left off means that's where the anomaly appears. She finally sees it and knows Jeremy was right all along.
I saw it for the first time today. There was a character I couldn't make out who it was, standing at the end of the hall. I thought it was just bugged out, so I made a note of it and kept playing. But then it was looking in the window, and not like Chica or Bonnie would. It was like it was actually looking in the window, seeing what I was doing.
As she's making logs on her whole experience, the anomaly, or Glitchtrap, seems to attach itself to her logs within the files. She can't delete it now, because where she was hiding these tapes was a safe, unremovable area, so thanks to Glitchtrap attaching to the tapes, he was basically given a safe hideout and a protected area to stay in effect. Vanessa knew what to do and broke the logs into pieces, telling anyone who finds these to never reassemble them again. But it was too late. The logs were already assembled. Glitchtrap raids Vanessa's mind. He didn't take over her body, but now he's in her head, pushing her to do things she would never do. Glitchtrap is out, and over time Glitchtrap tells her what to do and where to go. She ends up making a full rabbit suit in the real world by herself, thinking that William would like it. She'd like to imagine the name is Vanny, much how William named his suit Bonnie. She becomes more and more of a reluctant follower of Glitchtrap, and begins to plan how she can bring him back, but into his own body. That's the goal, and that's what Glitchtrap desires.
God, his body looks fucking
After a long time
shitty.
of gaining revenue from both
He
their
looks like
delivery
ass.
services, from merch, and their VR game launch, Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex opens. Throughout the week, majority of the work is for things such as cleaning and dusting got replaced by robots. The new animatronic band included Freddy Fazbear, Glamrock Chica, Montgomery Gator, and Roxanne Wolf. Oh, and I guess finally a Bonnie variation, but he didn't really last long, as one night Bonnie was seen leaving his green room, heading to Monty Golf, only for some reason to be taken out and destroyed by Montgomery Gator, which after seeing the damage, Fazbear Entertainment think maybe Monty can replace Bonnie, becoming the new bass player for the crew. Vanessa shows high interest in being a security guard for the location, and someone from the top recommends her, which in turn gets her hired. Within this new location, she begins researching about Remnant and how to bring Glitchtrap truly back, possibly using some of the Pizzaplex's technology. Throughout their opening week, Vanessa murders kids trying to extract Remnant. causing more missing children's cases. And throughout this entire ordeal,
murdered a
Vanessa
fucking
has
kid.
been going to see a therapist. The therapist finds out Vanessa has been talking to someone online in an encrypted conversation. Vanessa's getting manipulative messages from the same thing, and Vanessa is seen over and over again in the Pizzaplex by the IT department, being caught on camera multiple times, sometimes even with the Vanny mask. She's searching up weird things during company time, such as fake fur material to make the Vanny suit, and more. Vanessa herself learns that Glitchtrap has been hacking into her personal files about her life, which the therapist uses for her. This therapist is beginning to get closer to the truth about what's going on until she's suddenly replaced by another therapist, and then another therapist, then another, and another, every time they get close.
I hate to do this right off the bat, but I've been directed to ask you about this. Apparently, I'm the 4th therapist you've had. And apparently, all 3 of your former therapists have gone missing. Or 2 of them are missing. I don't want to scare you, but I have to tell you that one of them was found dead. That doesn't seem to upset you. Well, then I guess I'll go ahead and tell you that the woman's body was pretty messed up. It looked like it was mangled by machinery.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't bother you either? It's all pretty strange, I think. I'm not clear on the circumstances. Apparently the police don't have any evidence.
Glitchtrap through Vanny is killing the therapist whenever they get close to finding out the truth. Glitchtrap is slowly taking more and more control over her, and when the 4th and final therapist gets too close, exposing her for lying about her family's history, as apparently she had a good childhood and good parents, she lied about the court cases and the custody battle and all of the above. She tells Vanessa when she's more prepared to answer.
Why don't we come back to this
They're on CDs, Steph. I never found them though. Well, you find one for free, like it literally gives you one.
And Vanny kills the therapist and hears the voice in her head ask,
"Are you ready?"
Introducing the new stars of the show.
This game is such a switch from the other ones, it's insane. When it's your first one, you didn't realize how much of a change it is. It really is. But I'm guessing he just wanted more. But he wanted to put the minutes in the video. So, I'm just gonna play the whole entire opening of Security Breach. It'll give me more minutes.
Freddy feels a dangerous presence in the audience. Vanny is here. He begins to glitch out worrying Chica. He then falls and Chica rushes to him, but it's too late. Freddy gets restarted in safe mode and... Wait, there's someone inside of him.
Shh! Will you shut up?
Who said that?
I did! And down here.
Down where? I still
Maybe this
do not
will
see
explain where
you.
Gregory... Oh, he's a homeless kid.
You were sleeping,
We know
so
that.
I opened the stomach hatch and climbed inside.
My stomach hatch? That place is reserved for oversized birthday cakes and piñatas. It is not a safe play area.
Gregory snuck into the location and then tried to sneak into Freddy after he fell during the performance. But now he's about to be locked into the Pizzaplex if he doesn't get out in time. So he follows Freddy's instructions until eventually he makes it out to the front lobby, where the doors shut right in front of him. Gregory is now trapped inside the Pizzaplex.
No! Wait, I'm still here! Now what am I supposed to do?
Exploring and surviving daycare.
Hello, new friends. You're sure
He's using a lot of cutscenes. I'm guessing there's not near as much substance to this video, but he wanted to make it longer. Okay, I'm sure this will provide he'll provide relevance. Better not be naughty.
Fighting against animatronics on all levels of the mall, even underground, destroying Monty.
I'm just saying, Gregory in this one game did more than fucking Michael Afton did in 6. Or Henry. Or even William. I feel like I'm watching a fucking game playthrough.
Roxy.
Alright, I guess we're gonna watch Chica die too. Yeah, I saw Set for the Sun. Just, I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's off screen, you're not supposed to see it, so he just falls and then the other guy comes out. Like, you never really, they don't change.
And Chica.
The creator has a channel, that's cool. Yeah, Gregory really barely gets Chica. He barely gets his ass. Why does your category say Pokemon? Because I'm playing Pokemon. Yeah, you gotta catch them all, you know, Razor. Damn, he kicked the fuck out of her beak. Razor, how's your Ninja Gaiden stream?
Fixing Freddy to become
Oh, now I see that super tiny window. Not that tiny, but big enough to be relevant. Small enough to enjoy the video. He just went through that. The thing fell. He straight up went through it. Oh, he said attacks. Oh, pay attention. I was too busy answering your question about Pokemon. Even then, you probably still can go straight through it.
Finish him off for causing so much trouble in one night. Gregory and Freddy work as a team and survive all these difficult challenges together. The time struck 6 a.m. and Gregory headed towards the door.
Freddy, it's open. Let's go.
No, I cannot exit this facility.
Of course you can.
I see Matt Pass game theory on this. Not yet.
Without a recharge station, my systems would
This is my second video. Like before this, we watched the entire timeline. After this, we're gonna watch the VHS tapes and maybe watch a few MatPat videos, but I don't know which ones to watch.
Do not return. It will never be safe.
Hey, the arcade when it prompted the escape route choice after the
Freddy,
daycare.
If I leave now, nothing will change, will it? There will be more disappearances.
Yes, I am afraid that is correct. Gregory, you have a choice to make. The door is open.
The disappearances he's talking about here, because I was wondering about this. What disappearances were happening? But apparently, Vanessa was killing kids as Vanny, but it's really Glitchtrap controlling Vanessa through Vanny because he got into her head. He got control over her mind through Help Wanted.
Returning to nothing as a homeless child would. He covers himself.
I was just like doing some sure. Some of those early ones are either outdated or confirmed. Nice. When are you gonna watch the Scott Wars video? Whenever I want to. I already have a plan. Maybe I won't watch it at all.
Only for Vanny to have followed him after watching him escape, ready to kill him. Gregory goes back to the loading docks he previously went to, and with his new heightened security level, he can now open the loading dock doors and leave through there with Freddy.
Gregory,
I get it. I got this ending. I did this.
The door is open, and you can go. Or you can continue to investigate the secrets of the Pizzaplex. I feel there is something else going on besides Vanny.
I think you're correct.
Gregory gets away with Freddy using one of the cars outside on the loading docks, and they drive away from the location.
Every MatPat video, I was looking, every MatPat or like recent MatPat video, they're all like live streams. They're not like actual videos. Maybe I didn't look hard enough.
But Freddy breaks down from being away from the charging stations for too long.
You gotta go to the Game Theory channel, not MatPat. MatPat is his gaming streaming channel. Oh. I mean, I figured if I just...
But Gregory comes up with an idea and helps Freddy charge by using the car engine.
If I fucking searched MatPat FNaF, it would take me to Game Theory, but I didn't realize it was so niche for the search engine. How do you trigger this exit? You have to get the level 7 security pass. After you choose to stay, and then you go to the loading dock all the way on basement 1.
With Freddy's disappearance,
like
a new
3 or 4
animatronic
channels? Yeah,
Rock Hippo is made to replace him.
Whoa, wait, I didn't see that.
Saw her
Hold on, hold on.
Fazbear Blast?
He got replaced?
Wow.
I don't remember seeing that in the ending.
With Freddy's disappearance, a new animatronic Glamrock Hippo is made to replace him.
Glamrock Hippo. I guess I didn't see that. I guess I wasn't paying attention when I got the ending.
And Fazbear Blast? Maybe we could catch her there. If she thinks I escaped, maybe we can surprise her.
Is this an ending video? Or like, what the hell?
Let us end this.
Gregory stays in the Pizzaplex to go investigate Vanny's hideout with Freddy, but...
I mean, I get that this is a full timeline video, not a security breach endings video.
Disassemble Freddy.
So, kind of whack. I looked at the speedrun for this game, and it's like 3 minutes long. And it really doesn't look that hard.
Gregory goes to Vanny's hideout and hits the button controlling the robots.
I might try it later. Later tonight or tomorrow.
time to disassemble Vanny.
So,
Gregory watches
now
in
you
shock
think
as
about
they
it,
rip open
that's
a human being,
Vanny's
pulling out
not
her organs and more. She wasn't
an
an
animatronic.
Gregory checks on Freddy's destruction and he slowly dies in his arms.
Oh damn, I just realized, now that I'm listening to this, Vanny is just Vanessa in the suit.
Superstar.
So when he says to disassemble her, they rip Vanessa apart. What the fuck?
Fazbear Entertainment closes due to health concerns. Glitchtrap was spreading himself through the arcade games in the mall, and Gregory knew that due to the messages he got on his Fazwatch. He feels a weird feeling about it, so he decides to play it whole in Vanny's hideout, almost giving up on his mission.
I like this ending. I like playing Princess Quests.
He was able to win the game, which then glitched out. It turns out he freed the robots from the glitch and freed Vanessa from the Glitchtrap curse, her dropping the mask and leaving.
Damn, I bet she was completely aware the whole time too. Why are they so insistent on Freddy leaving
But not
with
without
Gregory?
seeing Gregory and letting him escape the Pizzaplex, with Freddy's working head in his bag.
3 stars.
They all leave together and have ice cream on a hill. Gregory goes to an exit he found a while ago that was locked off, but Freddy walks around the location seeing toys of him, realizing the horrors that have come from this place, the children going missing.
Did you find Gregory's secret room? I don't think so. Probably not. I kind of explored, but I also didn't explore a lot because there's so many unnecessary areas.
And decides to set the plushies
And
on
it didn't really
fire
have
to
any
burn the
substance.
building.
Oh, this is the one I didn't get. I couldn't get this one because my file glitched. Apparently Freddy has a flamethrower. Flamethrower fingers.
While running away, Vanny spots Gregory escaping and grabs him.
Ah, I bet you thought.
But this time, Freddy actually sees Vanny with his new eyes from Roxy.
I can see you now. I have new eyes.
Freddy runs towards her and pushes them both off the building, both falling to their deaths.
Not the dramatic fall. Goodbye, Gregory.
Gregory goes down and decides to finally unmask Vanny, realizing she was Vanessa the entire time.
By the way, I called that shit from the start of the game.
Vanessa's spirit, now free of Glitchtrap's curse, watches down with regret of what she's done.
If I've learned anything from the past hour and a half of watching FNaF
Gregory and Freddy
Timelines,
stay to explore the secrets of the Pizzaplex and find an elevator
burning down the
leading
pizzeria
underground.
doesn't do shit.
Careful. This elevator does not appear to follow any safety protocols.
Fire has not worked.
I think it can survive
Like 3-4 separate occasions
The elevator leads
in
them
this
all the way
timeline,
down
and they
to
just
Freddy
continue to
Fazbear's
keep
Pizzaplex.
trying to burn things down and hope that it works.
I know what this is. I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I had no choice. Now I have a choice. I have changed. My friends are here. They are so angry, confused. But I can protect you.
At least now I understand what the thing is.
Am not me.
We're about to get jump scared. He's staying
By
in that room
falling
too
even
long.
more within the pizza place, they land in the same room Henry sat in while saying his final words many years ago. But charged by the futuristic technology of the charging stations, Vanny was able to almost reconstruct Scraptrap's body and transfer William's data from Glitchtrap into it, like it did with the arcades upstairs, also using remnant from the murdered kids. William Afton is truly in purgatory, but the glitched AI of him is free. William is back. Over time, a big amalgamation had been building itself up slowly, knowing that Vanny was bringing William back. But Vanny nor Glitchtrap realized that the amalgamation was even down there with them. Freddy started to be taken over by Glitchtrap through the monitors in the building, trying to recreate what he did with the arcades and how he got into his current body. Gregory clicks a button to release fire into his room, distracting William from taking control, and Gregory fights off all the animatronics on his own.
That's just so bullshit.
The amalgamation witnesses all that's
Chica's
happening,
voice
and
box,
after seeing
it's the
William
secret.
free, when Gregory hits the fire once more,
heard it here
he
first.
goes towards William and grabs him by the
If you're having trouble with Rashi leaving the room, Chica's voice box works every time.
Gregory and Freddy run away and escape the burning building. They sit down and finally relax on a hill after a long night.
And that's
Where
the
next?
true ending.
Thanks
basically.
for watching this entire series. I've said multiple in-depth
That was
things in
it?
my community posts.
I mean, I guess
Why
that
not
did
throw
explain
another
the
thank you in there,
timeline,
so
but
thank
we
you.
already knew all that
Seriously,
stuff.
you're all helping my dream come true. Thank you all so
We already
much.
knew all that
Make sure to
stuff.
like the video and check your subscribe once
But it is a
again.
timeline,
I guess
the
all we can
video.
do is
It's
wait
not
for
like
the
a
next
theory
game to see where we
crafting video or
actually do head
anything.
next. But thank you once again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.
So we now have an understanding of the entire Five Nights at Freddy timeline. Now we should get into the... We're gonna watch the VHS